So there is a persistent and enduring rumor that I am trying to buy a Tesla, that I am trying to become a member of the Tesla family, that I am trying to actually walk the walk that I talk while I talk, but it's proving quite difficult. So here to help me weigh the benefits and consider my options is Randy Kirk. I'm Brian. Welcome to my Tesla Weekend.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, Randy. Oh, man. So
Join
much
the
stress.
crew, man. Come on.
Yes.
Get
yes.
with it.
I know, right? So here's what's going on is I know a gentleman who runs the Southwest Washington Tesla Owners Association. He has a 2021 Model Y with 7 seats, and he's looking to sell it. It's his weekend car. It's low miles, like 9,000 miles. And they're planning to get a Cybertruck just as soon as they can, so they're thinking now would be as good a time as any to part with it. So that's what it is.
Well, a 2021 Model Y, I think, is what we're driving. I think we got it in December, very end of December 2020. So I guess it was a 2021, technically. Not that there's a lot of difference probably between that and the following week or the week before, but in any case. So yeah, I'd say go for it.
Okay. Okay. Well, thanks, Randy. I'm glad we had this conversation.
How much do you drive? Do you drive a lot?
Well, I don't.
Would you plan to drive this a ton?
I would. I would drive a whole lot more if I wasn't driving a 2016 Nissan Quest. So we took out a 7-seat Model Y to see if we would fit in it, and we did only just. Only just. So what am I going to do? Wait to get my budget to Model X territory? Wait for someone to make a compelling and affordable minivan? No. It's the 7-seat Y or not. Because I really need the latest tech, and 2021 is sufficiently recent. And
Well, I understand that Tesla has come up with this new thing called over-the-air updates, which means that your car is as modern as it was when you know.
is that true? So that is true, but it only goes back so far. You're not going to be able
Yes.
to, if I get something from 2017 or 2018, there's a limit to what it will be able to do. If you buy a 2018 that has FSD on it, but it's only hardware 1 or 2, well, hardware 2, you're going to have some expenses to be able to actually get it up to modern standards.
Now, have you explored the real difference between the monthly payments on a 2023, right now, a new car, which would have a lower interest rate, assumedly, usually on new cars, and you get all the federal discounts and all this kind of stuff. Maybe it's in Oregon, you still have that 5,000 off up there for the new car.
So I'm not in Oregon, I'm in Washington.
Oh, I keep forgetting. My
Yeah.
goodness. Yes.
So so if I were to get the used one, the Kelly Blue Book is saying, so it does have FSD, which
Okay.
is something I wouldn't purchase myself because it's too much money. I would rent it, and not even all the time, just once in a while.
Yeah.
So that adds costs that I wasn't expecting. But in Washington, there are EV incentives. This wouldn't qualify for the new ones or the used ones.
Oh,
Because it's over the limit in both
Got it.
cases.
Got it.
25,000 is the cutoff for the used EV credits in Washington. And I think the federal credit cuts off at 25,000. But for used ones, you get a sales tax exemption, but it's only up to I think 16 or 20,000. So it's ridiculous. You get nothing in Washington. And so for the used one, it doesn't qualify. For the new one, I don't qualify for any of the incentives.
Any of it?
No, because my income is so low. Those incentives are not for the working poor. They're for middle class. They're just for the middle class. And it's unfortunate. But what that's done
well, you
is...
can make more money.
That's true. But what they've done is, by this car in this configuration today is about 50,700, and then you add FSD, that makes it about 62,000.
That would be new.
That would be new, but with the incentive, that would pull it back down to 52,000.
Oh.
So it would stand to reason that something a few years older would be in the low 40s, like 41 to 45-ish is the range. And I don't know if Ryan's looking to cut me a deal. I don't know how much he owes on the car. I assume quite a bit because he bought it at an expensive time. That we haven't gotten that far in the discussion.
You haven't gotten to his offer yet.
No. I just know that there's a whole lot of hassle to selling private party. And as long as I come in over trade-in, I'm doing okay. And he can't trade it in right now because there's no Cybertruck to trade it for.
Trade it in for, yes.
Yeah. So could I get I would get a lower interest rate, but I just cannot buy a new one. I just cannot. It's too much money. So yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
Complex. Now you did, I know a few weeks ago you were looking at that Model X. That didn't work out.
That did not work out. It had hardware 1, meaning it doesn't even have autopilot.
Oh.
So that's insane. And the guy goes, well, maybe you could upgrade it. Maybe you can upgrade it if you want to sell your car, bud. But it also had, it was a 60D and that's just not. That's 200 miles if you're lucky. And it's old, and even on the new models, the doors can be fickle. And this was one of the first 2000 Model X's ever made. My confidence was very low. So this would still have a whole lot of warranty. And like you said, I could realistically make more money on my channel if I had it. The first thing is, I'm spending, even with as little driving as I do, $150 a month on gas.
Oh.
So right there, that knocks the payment from, $500-$600 down to $350 to $450.
In California, that would only be one tank, you realize.
Well, 100 is one tank here.
Is it? Okay.
Our prices are not much.
Oh, wow.
Pretty close. Not quite as high, but pretty close. Wow. But that's how little driving I do because it's so expensive. And driving without autopilot or FSD is, on long drives, a chore. It's just no fun. So I would drive a lot more. I would get more video opportunities. I would get to do a whole lot of different things. But the cost is still daunting. So I'm just
I have the perfect solution.
Yes.
Everybody that knows Brian that's on this channel right now, go over to Patreon. Sign up.
That would be
this guy. He needs
that would be awesome.
He's worth.
That'd be awesome. And I'd love to go and beg, pass around the collection plate. But I feel like that's a little, passing around the collection plate to say, I'm going to give you more content is to me a lot better than saying, I want a car.
Oh.
I just feel that I need this car, in part because it's better for everything in every way, but in part because it's better for the content that I produce. Yes. I'm not able to make these FSD videos that other channels make. True. I have insights that I cannot gather without having one. And 2021 would be new enough that I would be still able to cover the cutting edge things, I think.
Yeah.
So those are some reasons I should. It would get me, I could get more sponsorship opportunities. There are people who've said, we would like to pay you to review our subwoofer.
Oh yeah.
And I say, great, I don't have a Tesla. And they go, never mind. I go, well, I could get one and do it. And so, nope, we're going to find someone else. It's like, well, damn.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So it is absolutely, but you'd need so many of those to actually pay for the car. It's just very frustrating. It's very difficult.
Yeah. So have you looked at what the monthly payment would be on a?
Yeah. If I do 84 months, it'd be about 500 with if I put enough down.
I got you.
Yeah. So it would be uncomfortable, but because 500 is a lot for me. It is a lot.
Well, you could, there's always, I hear that there's a lot of these department stores that hire around Christmas.
I hope I don't have to reach the decision between minimum wage jobs and doing the channel, because I think I'm very good at doing the channel.
You're very good at doing the channel. Why do you think
I feel like
one mind? Yes.
Yeah, and I feel like anyone could do those jobs, but not just anyone can do what I do here.
So we just need to build up your channel. I know. Here's another idea. Everybody that's watching right now, call a friend and tell them to watch Brian.
Yeah,
Put it up
that'll
on
do.
your social media.
That'll, yeah.
Put up your favorite ever Brian video on social media and let people know what they're missing.
Yeah, I think if the date I was told comes true for Cybertruck launch, that will boost my credibility a bit. But I always say that. I always say when this prediction comes right,
Yes.
then but it never. I wouldn't say never. I'd say I'm still one of the best kept secrets on YouTube. Not as bad as it used to be. Not as bad as it used to be. When I'd get within 91 cars and I'd get 500 views on the video, I'd be like, oh, what's going on? But I joined YouTube at a time when it was a very crowded space with new Tesla channels. If I'd started 6 months earlier, I'm sure things would be quite different. But I didn't. So nothing you can do about that.
That's right.
So yeah, and then we'll see what insurance rates are, and we'll see what all that stuff is.
Yeah, I suppose it's going to come a lot. It's going to have a lot to do with the offer he makes. Now, have you looked at what is out there already that would be the equivalent of his particular vehicle?
Yes. There are very few 7-seat Ys available, and the lower mile ones are not in this area, but you could go get one and drive it home. It wouldn't kill you.
Right.
But they're in the low 40s. They're about,
Okay.
well, without FSD, the asking price last week was 43. I assume the asking price this week will go down because there were price cuts last week,
Yeah.
and the used price is directly tied to the new price.
Yeah.
No one's going to pay more for a used one than a new one
Yes.
if there's any human possibility to avoid it. So it'll be interesting. This weekend, we're going to go out and have lunch with him and talk about it. But I assume somewhere around trade-in value is what he would be asking, which looks to be in the low 40s.
Gotcha.
And I don't feel comfortable strong-arming him into giving me a discount because this is someone I know and respect, and at the same time I wouldn't if he said, oh, it's 52, I'd say, well, now the whole thing's flipped. But I don't think he's doing that. I think
Right.
what he wants is to get about trade-in. So we shall
Well,
see.
we will continue to hope that you will be soon joining the ranks of those who are privileged enough in America to own a Tesla of any type.
In the comments, I'd like you to tell me, should I? Tell me why I should or why I shouldn't. And, let us know. Let me know, because I've got, I think I'm going to be making a decision within the next week. And if you enjoyed the B-roll over it, it's from the time recently we went and test drove overnight the Model Y in 7-seat configuration. The other thing that I don't get right now is I don't get referral credits.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I don't get invited to owners' events. All these owners' clubs I go and participate in, I'm not a member because you have to be an owner to be a member. I'm just a guest.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't even join those groups.
Yeah.
It's very, honorary, I guess. But yeah, and in terms of Tesla themselves, I'm not an owner.
Yeah.
I'm a shareholder. And I know other people with channels who are not shareholders or who own one share.
One share.
And it's like, I can't imagine having spent, 100,000, 200,000 on Teslas just to drive and look cool in, and no shares.
And no shares. Or the opposite. How do you do a channel where you're a bull or a positive and you're telling everybody else in the world you should buy these shares? Well, of course, it's not investment advice, but
Right.
you're tacitly encouraging people to go buy the shares and then not actually own any shares?
Not own one. When I first started the channel, I'd never touched one. In fact, it wasn't until I went on our road trip where I went to Fremont, Reno, Lucid, and what's the other one in Arizona? Nikola.
Oh, yeah.
And also that I'd ever even been in a Tesla.
I see.
And that's because I can understand the fundamentals of a company without having experienced their product. I've also never flown on a starship, but I would invest in SpaceX. You know, oh, it's terrible. There are people who work at GM who can't even afford a GM. First of all, no, there aren't. But
No, they're not.
but second of all, I can only imagine how sad Boeing employees are that they can't buy a 777. Come on,
777.
yeah, let's get real here. So, guys, in the comments, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Leave it. Randy, I want to thank you for your time. And
Been great. It's been lovely.
yeah. It's always a pleasure hanging out and chatting with you. I will say that I was on the phone with a viewer/fan the other day. I hadn't heard from him in a while, so I just called, made his day. It was fun. And he was saying, out of the blue, unsolicited, I really enjoy your time on Randy. You guys have great chemistry.
What did he mean?
I have no idea because I didn't do well in chemistry. So I assume that it means that our pH is complementary. I'm not sure.
That must be what it is.
Alrighty, guys. Well, stay tuned. Stay juicy. And I can't wait to hear from you, clever robots. Maybe if I get a car.